you been in an analysis room this morning?
No,
Oh,
you'd
really?
be wrong actually. Yeah, because my mind has to go quickly to the future, and I've got a very good staff and a very good team that can work in the past, if you like, and I have to quickly reframe and move into both team selection, obviously analysing the opposition. In terms of analysing the future, yes. Analysing the past, no.
So there's no dwelling on last night?
Well, we have a full stop meeting, which is important because it gets all the sort of frustrations out, if you like, and the boys in a calm environment obviously get to say their piece, and we try and come out of it better. But once we've had that full stop meeting, we never mention the previous game again. It's all looking forward.
So there's nothing in sort of 12 hours on that you feel you've learned or that you've realised?
Oh yeah, you're always learning. Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in that.
Your assessment last night compared to your assessment now, what differences are there?
Not a lot. Yeah, because I was right last night. I'm right this morning. No, not a lot. I don't think it was a tactical piece. I don't think it was attitude errors. I think it was just individuals, whether it be physical, emotional fatigue, didn't perform as we see in our mind's eye as the top 5% of their quality.
Because you said about it's your job now to find the answer as to why that is.
Yeah.
Have you found that yet? Or do you think you found that?
Yeah, I think I found it. Yeah, I think I think the Championship's a relentless league with good sides in it, and I think that we haven't got the luxury of being able to dip in our state and our performance state, and I think that we did for spells in the game last night. And like I said, credit has to go to the opposition as well. Done a really good job on us, not aided by a really poor, obviously aided by a really poor goal from our point of view in the first sort of 20 minutes.
Yeah. Sort of further into that, because there's this sort of ongoing perception, you may or may not disagree with it, about how the team are at home compared to how the team are on the road, how you play, performances, results. Is that something you buy into? Is there sort of an acknowledgement that perhaps there are issues at home?
I don't feel like we enjoy playing at home in terms of like the crowd and the atmosphere and everything like that. So I don't feel like there's any problem with that. I think where that potentially comes into play is the opposition's mindset.
Yeah.
And probably us being more comfortable without the ball. Like, you got to remember, we've had to recycle this team probably 6-7 times. So we're always losing an attribute, gaining an attribute. So for example, when you've got Webster in the side, you expect to control the ball, and Webster and Da Silva, for example, down that side was statistically the best in the division in terms of keeping the ball down that channel. Therefore, a different game is suited to those attributes, i.e. to build the play, to take possession of the ball, because while you've got the ball, the opposition can't score. Whereas if you look at the flip side of that, going away from home to Fulham, where you've got to go, okay, they've probably got better individuals than us, and therefore our team structure becomes more important, and we win the game without the ball, effectively. So where we dominated Fulham without the ball, away from home, I would say Millwall done exactly the same to us. Huddersfield tried to do that against us, and we blitzed them apart. So I think each individual game is good, tough. Where it suits us probably away from home is at the energy we have on the counter. But it's very hard to create a counter situation at home when teams are coming for seeing a point as a good result. So obviously it's the second loss of the season at home, and we hope to turn that around again and start a new run at home. So I know what you mean, but it's definitely not an anxiety from our point of view. It's just a case of being better, whether we upgrade the quality or improve in our ball possession.
Yeah, I was going to say then, how do you get the players to use the ball better when they have it? Because it's almost like the team like you say, I know you've always kind of changed the team, but for a while now you've been a really good counter-attacking side, but that hasn't quite...
Well, not last year. Last year we was built on, like... it's like anything, you've got to have the individual attributes.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you're robbing Peter to pay Paul in certain attributes, in terms of possession, but then it's very different if you're a counter-attack team. You would much, for example... You would much rather have Baker than Webster in a counter-attack situation, but you'd rather have Webster than Baker in a possession situation. And Baker knows that, Webster knows that. Do you know what I mean? So this is what we've got, and we've got to do our very best. And by the way, we're joint third in the division.
No, absolutely.
So do you know what I mean? Let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. But it's something that, again, a new group. If you look at the team, new players, a lot of new players. Masengo, Nagy, Williams, Bentley, Rowe, Pereira, all new players in this team, and we're 17, 18 games in. So there's still mega bucks of work to do, but I truly believe that we are performing at the best at the moment of where we could be in terms of league position.
Where are they in terms of how you want them to be as a team then? On a scale,
what is where I see our absolute capacity?
Yeah,
probably 85%. But I think additions open it up even more. Do you know what I mean? I think like you're always looking to get that counterbalance right. Give you another example. You're talking about the 5 versus the 4. So the 5 versus the 4, because we've got small fullbacks. You're losing a man.
You're talking about Millwall's 5, or
no, I'm talking about our 5.
Cities.
So fans would have a discussion. We look stronger at 5 at the back, or we play Eliasson when we play 4 at the back. So let's play 4 at the back. All right. So you play 4 at the back. You've got 2 centre halves. You've got Jeju. They're your 3 markers. That's it. So then you're down like a night like yesterday. So you're almost effectively 1 goal behind from a set piece from the start, because you've got to score 2 or 3 before you start. Whereas if you play a 5, you've got Jeju plus 3 centre halves, and then you're asking Brownhill to pick up somebody that's 6'3". So do you know what I mean? There's always a lot of different ways to win a football match, and a lot of different ways to impose yourself on an opposition. And ideally, there's a checklist for a championship win, and that is 5 players over 6 foot, energy, youth, ability, number 10 to unlock a door, goal scorer in the top goal scoring charts. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. 1
senior experienced defender, 1 quick one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Top goalkeeper, 2 fullback, 1 probably 6 foot plus, 1 technical. Do you know what I mean? So like for whatever reason, we traded our. If you picked a perfect 11 in the Lee Johnson tenure,
you'd have it over the 3 seasons.
Yeah. You'd have it over the 3, and you'd see the likes of Blackburn, for example, that have actually steadily kept and just added, and they're on a really good little run.
Okay.
Which makes it a tough game.
Yeah, you mentioned you said about fatigue potentially. Was that a collective thing, or was there certain individuals, or perhaps the frequency of games has been?
It's a difficult one to judge that. We didn't have the physical data like we normally do, because Fulham use a different system.
Okay.
So
in what respect?
normally,
in terms of tracking, or?
Yeah, tracking. Yeah, so that's very different. So when you don't get that physical data, you're relying on the eye and the individuals in terms of sort of questionnaire that they would fill out. And I guarantee players, when they know there's a game Tuesday, they're always, if there was a game Saturday and they thought they might get a day off if they're tired, it's very different to if they know there's a game Tuesday and they want to start. So that was had to be based on the eye. I felt that we just lacked a little bit of zip compared to what we normally did in terms of our technique. I thought our 3 midfielders, as I would see in Brownhill, Masengo, Nagy, didn't look as sharp as they did against Fulham. And listen, they had a go, and they it wasn't a character or attitude flaw. It was just something wasn't as slick as normal. And like I say, you also give credit to the opposition.
Yeah, I think Nagy and
Yeah.
Brown have both had 90 plus touches, I think I saw, which is like shows
Yeah,
how kind of involved they tried to have.
And they're honest boys, you know what I mean? And look, Nagy was disappointed with himself, and I'm like, look, mate, you're 6 games into the Championship, you know what I mean? And I think it's the most competitive league in the world. And Masengo's doing absolutely amazing at 18 years of age. He's looking like a established, you know what I mean, Championship footballer. But he's got to go through these moments to come out of it better. And for me now, obviously the mindset is moving forward is, okay, what lessons do we take out of it, and how does the individual get better?
So the fatigue thing will impact selection for Saturday?
It may well do, but we have got an extra day, and an extra day is a lot
compared to Blackburn.
Yeah. Obviously, and our extra day versus, well, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, game Tuesday versus Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, game Saturday. You've got 4 days rather than 3, effectively, or 3.5 days to recover. So you'd be surprised how that does make a difference.
Yeah. Has there been a consideration to take Andy out of the team for a game? Never a consideration. Because I think he's 13th in Championship minutes or so.
Because he's so consistent, and he's such a good lad, and I trust him with my life. And it's simple as that. Like, I've got to be able to put a team out that I trust that is adhering to the Bristol City ethos, and is going to put on an extremely consistent performance in terms of energy, work rate. That Andy's not the most technical player in the world, but he's so consistent with his tactical. He's a 9 every week in terms of a tactical score and a physical score as well.
Would you say he kind of embodies what you want a team to be more than anyone else?
I think so, yeah. I think that for where we are at this level, trying to go into the next level, I think Andy, and his consistency of his training, of his recovery, of his personality, of his performances, is up there with one of the best players I've had in terms of that trustworthy nature of a human and a football player.
You mentioned about Blackburn, and you've spoke about Tony before. What a good job he's done there. Yeah. Do you see kind of similarities with Millwall maybe in terms of approach, or
no? Totally different approach. No, I think they've got a lot of attack-minded players. Like to recycle the ball. I mean, they could potentially play with Downing, left back, which shows an attacking intent, if you know what I mean. And they've got some good players. Rothwell, Dak. Obviously, Graham's come back in, done well. I've always liked the 2 midfielders. Man City centre half on loan's been doing well. Do you know what I mean? So they're what they are is they're an established 11 in terms of they know each other's game. They've been together a while. They've had a promotion. They've now had another year in the Championship. They've spent money on top without losing players. And there's a nice little consistency.
Under the radar Championship team.
Yeah.
Are you going to Swansea? Well, you're not going to Swansea.
Sadly not, as much as I would love to. I'm being
Otherwise
bullied
engaged.
into attending a gala dinner.
Fair enough. How's the? I mean, you mentioned about Thomas last night. I don't imagine there's been much time for a sort of reassessment, or has there?
No, not at the moment. I don't think he'll be fit, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Which is like frustrating. If you look at 2 of our top players, £10 million worth of player at this level in Callas and Jada Silva, and that's why I was frustrated last night, because probably 5-6 days ago I thought I was going to be able to start Callas in that one last night, knowing that we'd have needed some key areas of a bit of energy and a bit of organisation and quality, and he's our record signing for a reason. And I'm looking forward to getting him back, and that's obviously part of the reason that you get frustrated in moments like that last night, because I know it would have made a difference.
Is that it's that's all coming from the medical team? It's not him as such in terms of saying,
he's a warrior. He's definitely. I mean, he wants to be out there. But the medical team at the moment are saying it's too dangerous to play.
And what about Jay? How's his recovery coming on?
Jay's recovering nicely. Yeah, we're gonna have to obviously be careful with him. It's not a case of just being able to slam him in. Do you know what I mean? He'll have to be introduced. So but he does look sharp in terms of the gym stuff he's been doing, but he hasn't integrated into full training yet. So it's just one-on-one with the physio, but outside on the pitches. So always football specific.
There's a under-23 game just before Christmas. Is that
possible? Maybe we've arranged a game. I think 16th or something like that, behind closed doors, against, can't remember who we're playing. Swindon, yeah. And that'll be important, that one, because that tops up quite a few that need it, and hopefully we'll be able to get the likes of Jay, maybe a few minutes, Callas playing in that one.
Okay. Just finally on January, I know you've talked sort of extensively about players coming in, but in terms of loans going out, are there any thoughts on players potentially going out?
Yeah, of course there is. It's a bulky squad at the moment, and that it's not easy. That, let me tell you, because everybody wants a carrot at the end of the week. And to be fair, after a game like the other night, a lot of them have got an argument. Do you know what I mean? Because they can knock on the door and it's one of them, like, yeah, look, I've got to pick a team, but yeah, like Sammy Smodic, to give you an example, very consistent trainer, very consistent human, hasn't quite taken to the levels yet of the Championship that we would have hoped he had, like he did in pre-season, but at the same time hasn't really had the run. So like where we are as a football club is we're always buying potential, which is great, but obviously Sammy wants that carrot at the end of the week, so he's really been set the challenge, look, get in the team before January, because if not we might have to look at a loan for him, but I definitely wouldn't want to lose him, because I feel, in terms of a permanent, because I feel he's part of my long-term plan too. But at the same time, he does need to do a bit, if you like, at first team level in the Championship and run a game to be able to get a consistent starting spot.
What about Antoine?
Need to talk to him, really. Like, again, you've got to have, don't forget, you've got to have your club developed on the bench. We have got options because we've got a lot of good young players, and we'll have a look at it and do what's right for him. He can affect first team games, and he needed a bit of a rest from it, even though obviously he was there, because I think it was sort of a bit of a pressure build up, particularly at home, where maybe the fans weren't quite taken to him like they did at the start, and what comes on the back of that is social media and the money he's now on from what he was on before. So there's a whole growing up process here that we've got to try and nurture. But in terms of, again, long-term future for the football club is one I'm really, really excited about.
But it is a thought to potentially send them.
We got. I mean, look, it's not rocket science. You're playing regular, and in every regular squad, you ain't going anywhere unless it's for mega bucks. If you're not in the squad and you haven't been making benches and stuff like that, then like everyone wants to play football, even if players like have got Bristol City tattooed on their arm. They still want to be playing football.
So anyone have Bristol City tattooed on their arm?
They will do if we get promoted.